don't know what y'all think feminism is, but it's being treated like the human being that you are, okay? And when you're in a system that does not allow you to be afforded the rights of a human being, then you fight against that with your feminist ideologies. I'm over here sweating because I just got out the shower, but I don't understand what the y'all think feminism is.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
There's so much that I want to talk about. Before I get to Lisa Cook, yesterday I was telling the story of Dr. Seuss and how he was tasked with coming up with a fix, or, you know, a way to come up with a book that inserted 250 words that every child needs to start some towards literacy. And he came up with Cat in the Hat, which used 236 of those 250 words, which was amazing. I didn't get to tell the rest of his story, and I wanted to maybe save it for Wednesday, but I think today is good because you're here. So he was married to his first wife, and I told the story of his childhood and how he was bullied as a German. And he also ended up becoming a racist because hurt people do tend to hurt people, no matter how brilliant they are. But his wife was also a writer, and she fell ill. She loved this man so much, and she found out that he was cheating on her. Do you know the story of Dr. Ted? No. Okay, so she found out he was cheating on her, and she took her life.
Oh,
and no. And she left him a note. Dear Ted, what has happened to us? I don't know. I feel myself in a spiral going down, down, down into a black hole from which there is no escape, no brightness. And loud in my ears from every side I hear failure, failure, failure. I love you so much. I am too old and enmeshed in everything you do and are that I cannot conceive of life without you. My going will leave quite a rumor, but you can say I was overworked and overwrought. Your reputation with your friends and fans will not be harmed. Sometimes, think of the fun we had through all of the years. And I think about how devastating that was for this woman to put. She helped him build the Dr. Seuss brand. She was, one of his partners in the publishing partner. And to find out that he ended up marrying this woman he was cheating on her with, who was also married, by the way. Yeah, They ended up getting married 8 months later. He said that he wanted to die as well after reading the letter. He described how he felt at the death of his first wife. He said, I didn't know whether to kill myself, burn the house down, or just go away and get lost. Whatever Helen did, he said she did it out of absolute love, which is, I don't know what kind of, as we were talking earlier about I don't know. I don't know if that's love. What is that?
Well, you also got to think about women of that time, right? So, in the 60s, I think it was when she when this happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's, I'm guessing just based on what I know about Dr. Seuss. So, like, if that's the case, like, what could she do? What could she leave him? Where could she, you know what I'm saying? Where could she go? Where could she go work? But you are with this man and you're contributing to this amazing body of work and idea. Maybe that's the thought process, is like, there is no other thing for me. What could I do without a man? And you were the man. So now I'm at this ripe age, supposed to go find somebody else. I don't want to do that.
Right. Oof.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Equity is important. Why women need their own bank accounts and checking accounts and bodily autonomy and all that. Because otherwise,
yeah, we'll go back to that. That's why exactly. Look at you. Amber didn't even know I was leading her into a conversation about this. But this is what alignment looks like, right? So, when I think about, there's a lot of conversation about Charlie Kirk's wife and how much of an example of a woman she is, but this is a woman with multiple degrees. This is a woman who was a partner in his business and could, and she was not, she made a choice. but she was able to make a choice to do what she did, to be his helpmate and all of these things. She had options, but she still went and did the things she wanted to do. She was older than him, I think, by 5, maybe
Yeah,
10
she's 5 years
years.
older than
5
him.
years older. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a woman who had lived the life that she wanted to live.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. It's choice. It's being able to move about the cabin freely. And I don't understand people wanting to take away other people's ability to move about the cabin. What
Yeah,
does
I
that
don't
do to you?
understand, particularly if their movement is not disruptive to others. Like that is particularly confusing to me. Like if you don't believe in this thing, then don't participate in it. But why are you trying to remove it from the people who do? So
Yeah.
I do think, obviously where there's harm involved. And then, even if I think about Erica Kirk, my other thought process with her is like, the question for me is because he was so young and she was 5 years older than him, particularly in your 30s, that is a significant amount of like experience in life. And
Yes.
so, I mean, I am inclined to almost wonder how much of what he had built was her brainchild, just being candid. Because like
Wow.
I just feel like in your 30s, 5 years is a big difference.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
it's likely that she had a significant amount of influence on, this entire
Everything.
organization. Yeah. Yep.
Well, apparently she had also participated in a pageant that Trump owned back in. I mean,
Yep.
there's
A lot of
so much
layers.
here, so much here. But none of that has anything to do with what we got to do next. So, what's your game plan? But I do want to play this clip that I came across on TikTok. This young lady posed a question. What was the question? About women and feminism. Those who choose to not want to be feminists. Here's what Ayana Winter said. Ayani Winter.
I fully understand that in this life, there is no way for every woman to be a feminist. I completely understand that. But what I don't like is when women spew anti-feminist rhetoric, but pick and choose what parts of feminism they want to accept and reject. For example, if you, your child, your daughters, your cousins, your mother went to primary, secondary, or post-secondary school, that's because of feminism. You getting married or not getting married is feminism. Your husband not being your first after you get married and you not being stoned to death is feminism. Being able to get divorced is part of feminism. Being able to have custody of your child or shared custody after that divorce or separation is a part of feminism. The reason you get to own a bank account is because of feminism. The reason you get to vote is because of feminism. The reason you can go on dates without having to be escorted by your brother, cousin, or whoever else, even sometimes your father, is because of feminism. The reason rape is a crime is because of feminism. The reason marital rape is a crime is because of feminism. The reason you can call the police after you get your ass beat by your boyfriend or husband and that be considered a crime is because of feminism. I don't know what y'all think feminism is, but it's being treated like the human fucking being that you are, okay? And when you're in a system that does not allow you to be afforded the rights of a human being, then you fight against that with your feminist ideologies. I'm over here sweating because I just got out the shower, but I don't understand what the fuck y'all think feminism is.
Yeah.
I could not have said it better. Like exactly that. And candidly, I think the same conversation could be had for, people who don't vote or, like it's the same thing. Like you participate in politics. Yes, you do. You got healthcare. Are your kids in school? You
Does your
participate in
garbage get
politics.
picked up? Yeah. Are your
Right.
streets paved? Right.
Exactly. You participate in politics, whether you want
Yeah.
to believe you are or not. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to lean in as 350,000 Black women have found themselves purged from the workforce. I think there is that has happened. That also means there's an opportunity. That also means there's a whole lot of brilliance on the horizon. And I often think, things happen so that you can be pushed into whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. Anyway, I don't think you were put on this earth to work for nobody in the way that, people have given their whole entire beings to corporations and we don't even get gold watches anymore. You get that pink slip and goodbye. You show up, your car doesn't work. Been there 15 years, 20 years or what have you. And it's devastating because you have shown up every day with excellence. Last night in office hours, Dr. Greg Carr played a speech by Sherilyn Ifill. She was addressing a group of young people coming into Howard University, and she said something about excellence. She was the head of the Legal Defense Fund at the NAACP, and Thurgood Marshall was, I think, one of the first leaders of that organization. And he would force them to rewrite. If there was a smudge or a mistake in any of their briefs, they would have to rewrite the whole thing. And that was like, for them, it was like, and if it took you 4 times to rewrite it, you would have to rewrite it. And she said, because when Thurgood Marshall was coming up and clerking, he remembers one of the judges saying, I always know an N-word brief when I see one, because it's got mistakes in it or whatever. So he wanted to make sure anything that came out of Legal Defense Fund was going to be above, it was going to be beyond. And I remember, being at the Daily News, we won a Pulitzer one year, but the year before, there was like a plan to win a Pulitzer. My boss came in, he's like, okay, I want a Pulitzer. Here's what we got to do. And and what part of that was, there was 7 of us on the editorial board. We all had to read and comb through the editorials to make sure, because it could never be a typo. There could never be a grammatical error or a mistake. So everybody was responsible. And I think about the collective way. So the first year we were runners up. The second year we actually did win a Pulitzer, but and I learned in that moment that things don't just happen. There has to be a lot of intention. And so Sherilyn Ifill was sharing how Marian Wright Edelman kept the tradition of excellence. And that's what that is, right? Because at the end of the day, these 350,000 women probably were some of the best that ever sat in those seats. And that means that excellence goes with them wherever they want to imagine. Exactly. And I believe this is the time to build the systems, the way Africa's taking back their land and all of this and creating their own internet.
Right.
The technology now is there for us to utilize, not to be afraid of, but to create. I don't know who Sam Altman is, but I can guarantee you he ain't smarter than you.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will